We're the directors of global outreach or outreach for the global supply chain. And we're so happy to be here with you guys, Boss. Thank you so much for having us.
No
Um,
problem.
we are, so we're going to just tell you a little bit about global supply chain management and our experience at CSU San Marcos. But first, I was going to let you guys pull up these are our LinkedIns. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, I am a returning student and I've had the blessing of being able to raise my kids who are probably very similar in age to you guys. And what that has provided me with is an ability to just really know that this is what I want to do. I didn't know supply chain was a thing. And so I'm a junior, I'm a third year, and I am also an introvert and I really like systems, but I love people. So this was the perfect opportunity for me to get plugged in. And I feel like the school has done a great job with just really encouraging us to put our faces out there so that we can get employed and have opportunity to take internships, which I am this summer. I have an internship at General Atomics, which is really exciting. But that's my QR code and a little bit about me.
Wow, Joanne, amazing. A little bit about myself is that I'm a second year here. I'm doing supply chain. I locked into supply chain. I don't want to be a finance bro anymore, so that's what we're focusing now on. And yeah, I'm also minoring in Spanish. I'm a first generation college student here at San Marcos. Well, finding a career has been like a journey, like I said, going from finance to I wanted to do everything. I mean, I wanted to do accounting as soon as I took that class, but I didn't really, I wasn't the type to sit down in a space for a long time. So I took matters into my own hand and decided that supply chain was the choice for me. And it's something that's going to keep businesses going. So every business, no matter product or service, it's going to have a supply chain built into it.
That's right. So we'll just explain supply chain is essentially getting the right product at the right place to at the right time at the right price. And for me, that just when I think about supply chain, I think about all the systems that people like getting a product or an idea from point A to point B. And even though there are systems that are, are behind the scenes, MIS, I know uh, uh, the MIS Society came and spoke a couple of months ago. The end user will always be people. So I really feel like on top of just learning, AI and Excel, we're also just learning our people skills and how we show up. And that kind of covers the basis of what supply chain is to me. When I think about what opportunities we have in the future, it is so strong because I meet people that are like, I like to be the idea person. I don't like to be the systems person. So as you can see, depending on your education, this bar chart is from the Association of Supply Chain Management, taken from last year. That after getting a bachelor's degree, the average salary is 92,000, a little roughly, and there's such a great opportunity for growth in this field. I'll let you take the next slide.
Kind of wanted to backtrack on what Joanne was talking about, the people side of supply chain. So I would say supply chain is one of those careers where if you don't use your voice, if you don't work as a team, then the system's not going to work. The supply chain is built of so many like little things that have to go in together in tandem with each other. So if you think that you're very good at teamwork, really good collaborator, and you want to exercise those skills like in real world problems, solving real world issues, then I'd say supply chain is the right career for you. And you could do a lot of stuff, not just more on the extroverted side, working with people, which you'll do half of the time with, I'm pretty sure, all the business majors, right? So everything from data analytics, business analytics, if you're more into the analytics side, to logistics management to production planner. If you're a planner or a great planner, you get to um, plan the production side of things. So, and for
Mhm.
me, I know I want to do buyer, so procurement. So whether it's ordering raw materials to from a manufacturer or sending them out to different manufacturers and materials management as well. So you can see all the way from planning to enabling. It's just a very broad career to choose from.
For sure. The coursework that we have at CSU San Marcos is excellent. Right now, I'm actually taking OM 406. Well, I'm taking a few of these classes, but 406 with a Boolean. I really enjoy it because there is analytics to it. Like it's beyond just solving a problem. It's actually going like, how can I help management make the most wise decision given the data that we have, and giving several options and then imagining what those options, like the challenges that we might face. Because as you know, no plan generally works as we expect it to. So there's a lot of thinking quick on your feet and being flexible. And that to me is really exciting because you can have a plan and work the plan, but life happens as well. So these are all the relevant coursework that we have offered at during this time, this semester. And I know in the fall there will be visual analytics. Our supply chain and business analytics is growing rapidly, and it's like so impacted now. It makes me excited because we have all this new faculty and staff coming in that really they have expertise in the field now and industry and companies that are located in the San Marcos area. So on top of just getting real world experience from advisors and lecturers, we're also getting connected to the workforce these people are still employed with. So that's really exciting to me. I'm so excited to learn about machine learning, and that gets us into what AI is doing in the supply chain field.
So can
Do
you,
you want to speak on that?
I wanted to talk about a little bit more on
Mm.
the last slide. If you could switch it back
Oh
real
yeah.
quick for like a minute. So I wanted to share a story. So currently I'm
Do you
taking
see it?
324
Yeah.
with Professor Zerpour. And what I really liked about his class is not only does he teach the 324, but I wanted to put emphasis on the OM 445, the warehousing and distribution management. I say that
Mhm.
that's one of the most important class. I haven't taken it yet, but it was in it was a collaboration with the society and its class where we had the opportunity to go to Hunter Industries. We're here by San Marcos off the exit in San Elijo Road. So yeah, he welcomed us with open hands. We got to experience real world like business processes, their injection molds, all the everything from production to warehousing. So I'd say that class was really one of the classes that opened up my eyes, and one that I'm going to take for sure, because it's just shows you real life experience. I mean, I don't see any other classes and other majors that take you in person and show you the processes and tell you what it's like working there every day.
Yeah, I'd agree. Have you guys been able to go on tours since being a part of COBA to businesses?
Oh yeah,
That,
we've been to several businesses since we founded. We've been to Pachanga, which the
oh,
casino.
cool.
We've been to Wilson Creek, who's big in the
Is
wine
that a
industry.
winery?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm,
And we've
that's so
been
cool.
to Temecula City Hall, as well as we just recently did Abbott in February, the big
Very cool.
medical manufacturer.
Yeah,
So we've had quite a bit of tours and more on the way.
that's
It's
awesome.
great.
I feel like it really is helpful and really relevant to see what we're learning is foundational in the classroom, and then just to tether that to, industry and potentially envisioning yourself at certain corporations like Viasat or so that's very inspiring. That's cool. Well, I think a lot of times when I talk to my peers, my people that are like my age or people that are not necessarily in the workforce, AI seems to be like a very intimidating topic. I am so excited how AI is being used in supply chain. It feels like we're on the cusp of, or maybe not even, we're in the midst of just radical change. And again, it gets back to just having analytical skills and those soft skills and being able to use the data that is provided, that AI provides in an intelligent way to provide supply chain surplus is our job, so that corporations can grow and we can provide value to whatever company that we're working for. And I feel like, yeah, so if you go down the list, there's transportation. I interviewed for a transportation and logistics role. They were trying to track just in the smartest way possible routes and KPIs for, fuel usage and maintenance. And it's just fascinating to see all the ways that you can use metrics to be smart about operations. And that goes with warehousing and not wanting to go overboard on your inventory while also trying to avoid stocking out. And yeah, forecasting is a big one where people are constantly trying to avoid over buying. So avoid that bullwhip effect. And it's an exciting time to be able to use AI and machine learning for smarter decision making.
Yeah, so an example I like to use for seeing AI right now in the supply chain industry. So if you look at Walmart, so instead of them guessing up what to put on the shelves, they can use AI. They use AI tools to predict weather forecasts or local events. And they use that information to, for example, stock umbrellas or stock extra waters ahead of time. And another great example, like in a smaller business you would see around here in Temecula and San Marcos is think about like a coffee shop, right? Family-owned coffee shop. The owners, most of the time, they don't have time to crunch up numbers, Excel sheets, and things like that. So as you guys might have seen, right, the extensions, all the add-ins into Excel now. So you could use AI-powered inventory systems to take care of all that while the owners just build the real connections to their clients, getting them to come back.
For sure. So that is basically us talking about, supply chain or as we see it as students and what we see just in the upper division of our coursework. We can talk a little bit about our society if you would like. Does that work for you or?
Feel free to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. It's your show.
Okay, well, I am very passionate about this, and we have set really lofty goals for us to do outreach for our Global Supply Chain Society. It has been so good to me. I was a transfer student last semester, and I knew that CSU San Marcos is known to be a commuter school and a transfer school, so I needed to be very mindful about getting plugged in. And boss in Temecula, as well as the U Hour, which is Tuesday and Thursday, 12 to 1. CSU San Marcos for COBA students has done amazing, has given us amazing opportunities to be able to find community with other like-minded students who want to just ready themselves for their career. And so the Global Supply Chain Society, I think Ray and I both could attest to this, has been such a great opportunity for us to polish our social skills, just get out and just meet people and faculty, to encourage them to get plugged in with all the resources with, like Ray was talking about, tours to Hunter facility, Viasat, and just hearing advisors come in and speak during U Hour, and we get to just have community. And so we're a student-run organization, just similar to BOSS, and we are really just trying to provide resources and opportunities for global supply chain majors and other majors. You can be any major and to launch their professional career. And again, that gets back to being in and around people that excel at their careers and just have that heart to want to share their experiences and their pathways with students that just want to hear it. It is so helpful and so inspiring to see that there's a way forward, and that CSU San Marcos has quite a few relationships, and they're working really hard to create an advisory board that's really dynamic and wants to like funnel in these alumni into these different jobs. I'm seeing it where people are coming back and they just, graduated a few years ago, and they were ready to launch once they got done with their career. So it's really exciting for me. Do you want to say anything, Ray?
Yeah, so being a part of society, I joined officially on the board this semester, but started attending the meetings when I was a freshman. So I would pop up here and there, but
So
I'd say the
good.
thing that did it for me was the advisory. We had all the previous alumni come on and, share their two thoughts on the industry, where it's going, and whether like it's a viable career. And after hearing pretty much everyone, a good amount of guest speakers come, it just really motivated me to, join the society, give back to the people who encouraged me to join it. So from here, it's been a pretty smooth sailing ride, and I hope to keep doing great things. So
Which you are.
here on the top
Yeah.
left, we have our Dean's List breakfast. So it's just a little way to show out our advisory board members and our weekly meetings. Most importantly, I think that week we had Kevin Koo out of General Atomics. So Joanne could speak on that. And most importantly, our alumni panel. So our alumni panel is held every, I want to say like the last 2 weeks of the semester, around
Yeah,
the
it's
May area
Tuesday,
before finals
tomorrow. Yeah.
tomorrow. Yeah. So that's just a great way to, network with supply chain professionals, people outside the school show up. So it's just a very amazing way to take advantage of that. And once again, the society is free, so it's not
Yeah,
paywalled behind anything, you know, free information. It's just a matter up to you if you want to take advantage of the resources at the end of the day.
for sure. Sorry, my formatting's off. I apologize for that,
No,
for
you're
the
good.
weekly. This is, Ray mentioned this, the Hunter Industries Facilities Tour.
Wow.
So cool. It's literally down the street from the San Marcos campus. I can't even believe it. I drive past it. That there's
Yeah.
manufacturing so close by. They did an excellent job, and they had just hired a business analytics student who was planning on continuing on with her master's, and she decided to take this job full time and get some work experience before she signed on, which I think is so cool. This is I don't know how many of you are there that are supply chain majors, or if you've heard of the Association for Supply Chain Management, but this is the organization to belong to. It's how you get certified if you aren't. This CPIM is like the certification that we've been told by many people in industry that like, oh, when I see that on your resume, I know that you have been trained and you'll slide right into my team because you've got the proper training, and it is a fairly difficult course certification. But ASCM is how I discovered, actually, it was my journey to getting my internship. I didn't know about supply chain. The teacher, when I was at Miracosta, happened to be affiliated with it, and she encouraged me to join. It's free to students, so just scan that QR code, and it provides you with facility tours on your own. We have a conference coming up at SDSU that does cost money, but it will give you an opportunity if you have the time. Friday, the 5th or 6th of May, we have a slide coming up where it's an all-day event, and you'll be able to hear speakers. There's a keynote speaker in the industry, and this is free. It's $100 normally. And beyond that, you get opportunities to go visit places. I went to Otay Mesa to visit the Amazon warehouse, the automated warehouse, which was so cool. I don't have any pictures because they take your camera, but it blew my mind, just the efficiencies there. But this is such a great opportunity. And I don't have the slide, but Ray and I were able to compete in a contest that really allowed us to, in real time, in practice, form a supply chain team of 4, and we were on opposing teams, but CSU San Marcos sent 2 teams to this international contest. It's called In Change, where we simulated a supply chain for a company that had juices, and we were trying to figure out how to create a supply chain that ran as smooth as possible. We had several rounds, and I was the VP of operations for my team. What were you, Ray?
So for my team, I was doing sales, so contract
Nice.
negotiation. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just really fun. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, but through experience, it was like a fail fast experience. But we had several people do quite well in it. And that was all through ASCM. And
Mhm.
we had an advisor. It was a wonderful opportunity. And so I would encourage you guys, even if you're not a supply chain major, just it doesn't hurt. And it certainly is something that would be engaging. They send you very insightful emails. I mean, it's just an opportunity and a resource that is provided for students.
Yeah, and then a lot of professionals, even they spend their money and they tell me
Mhm.
firsthand, they tell the society firsthand that to really take advantage of the free, while it's free when you're still have your student email.
For
So
sure.
yeah, as
For
we
sure.
know a lot of professionals, that were they were our coaches for the competition.
Mm.
They still get back to the ASCM and while they're paying for it, so they're telling us to really take advantage of this. So I feel like it's a really good resource to use.
And then this is ways to get connected to us. This is our advisory board for the semester, led by Leo, who is couldn't be here, but he leads us well. And we have our LinkedIn that keeps you abreast on what's going on, our socials, and email. And we would love for you guys to. I don't know how many of you guys are taking classes at both campuses, but we
Mhm.
meet every Thursday at 12 o'clock, and we would love to see you there as well. There's always room
Yeah,
for
if you can
new
make it.
faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so that's really what we have. I don't do you like to say anything else, Ray?
One thing I would say
Oh,
is that
yeah.
if you guys show up, you guys will be fed, don't spend those extra
Mm,
$12 on campus, save that money on gas. Um, as far as food we provide, we don't know until the day of. So if you do decide to come, it's kind of like a surprise. You're gonna have to show up and see for yourself.
yeah.
All right.
Maritza, you had something you wanted to say?
Yes. So thank you so much for explaining all the amazing things that, um, you know, uh, what you're doing. I think it's amazing. We also had, so to kind of give you a perspective of the Temecula business program, they
Mhm.
have a general option. So that means that they're taking 4 units of every single concentration. So that's, I think, about eight classes. So they are taking a 4 unit global supply chain management class,
Okay.
and they're doing all that with the other concentrations too. And then they have in their last year, because we work with just juniors and seniors, the seniors will be asked by the new faculty director, Ben Cherry, what electives they'll have and what they want to learn. And it all depends on the group, because there is a spring cohort, a fall cohort, and some of the spring and some of the fall come together in one class. And
Mhm.
then the same with the other cohort. So there's like 4 cohorts going on at the same time, and so they're all either intermixed on 2 days a week. And so this is really nice to learn a little bit more, and it's great for our students to know what's going on main campus, so they understand how it works over there. And it's lovely to see the connection that you have with your alumni. That's really great, because it's so important to learn from their words of wisdom, as we've been learning from the graduates from our main from our Temecula program. They've come back to talk, and we actually had one like just before
Before
spring break. Yeah, and his name is Christian Berry, and he works for the wine family cellars. It's one of the bigger companies for wine in Temecula. And so he was working for Wilson Creek for a while, and he was the logistics administrator for that. And he learned so much from the classes, and he was just as excited as both of you have explained about what global supply chain looks like, And you mentioned, Joanne, the people, it's about people. He definitely talked about that. Like, you could learn as much as you can about like the functions, but the people also get impacted too. And he gave some great examples of that. So I thank you for explaining the people piece.
Oh, thank you for explaining. Also, that's so cool to have the cohorts. I think that's amazing to be able to learn the breadth of like what business is with a group of people and how dynamic that must be. So it's really cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
If that's all you have for your presentation, I'm going to
Yeah.
open the floor to questions if you guys have any for our wonderful panel today. Wow, dead silence. Okay.
Just gonna know spring
guys
break.
Oh, you speak up. Do you guys hear that?
No.
No.
So she was basically asking, how did you guys get to where you are in your positions right now? Were you guys an interview process, or were you or an internship?
As
I
far
hope
as
I-
getting into the society or career-wise?
Your career-wise.
Career-wise. So currently I'm second year still. So this summer I plan on taking OM 305 through the faculty-led abroad program with a Boolean. So I know this summer I won't be, taking part in an internship, but I'd say doing that will help me build professionally just by knowing other cultures and getting experience hands-on in other factories abroad. But I have a couple internships, that that are on top of my list. For example, General Atomics, like Joanne and Viasat, and just anything having to do with aviation, because my hobbies, I like aerospace, I like aviation. So just finding what supply chain, you could find whatever your hobby is, there's some supply chain aspect of it. So I'd say
Mhm.
really search that up. And if there is a position or there is an internship in it, then look into it, send your resume in. And if you like it, then yeah.
How about
I
you,
think
Joanne?
I think for me, what helped was I said yes to everything. So any meeting that e- entertained any type, I didn't even know what General Atomics was. Honestly, that's how foreign everything, how much I've learned, I guess, being exposed to so much in the last 8 months. I went to a meeting and met Kevin Koo from General Atomics, was so blown away by his EQ and his ability to talk about his career path. And so after most meetings, I just researched the people and made sure that I caught up with them on LinkedIn and made a point of just keeping a list of businesses that I could possibly foresee myself. And I feel like a lot of the people that come in and speak, they remind us it's not just you getting a job, is it a good fit for you, which kind of changes the dynamic of it's beyond just getting a job. If you could just level up to being like, is this company going to be a right fit for myself? And I would say that after I met Kevin Koo, I was like, that would be an amazing place to work at under him specifically, not thinking that that would be a possibility. But then he came and spoke again, and I was aware of internship season, like the period where you apply was coming to a close. And so I just started applying to several, my like top 5 list, ASML, Viasat, Quidel Ortho. And it very much helped that a lot of the advisory board, because we are able to talk to the advisory board, they are like, if you apply, make sure that you email us or catch us on LinkedIn so that we can look out for your resume, because you are flooded with resumes that you have to get past AI. So I did that with several, and I have to say that works, just reaching out. And it certainly helps when you have a face to, Sam Gregorian, who is the VP of supply chain, has come in and spoken to us, our group. And so anyway, it's just helpful to have that connection. And so that's how the process went. The woman that I spoke to, I had several interviews with General Atomics, and I would say that once you get in the system, I felt like my resume was getting passed around, because I was for logistics and transportation and subcontracts and more on the government side. And my position right now is going to be, it's called Intern Supply Chain Proposal Support Specialist. And it's basically General Atomics is looking to broaden who their customer is. And so it's not just going to be our domestic government. And so that's going to entail a lot. It's pretty intimidating. I'm just doing a lot of research on that. The woman that ended up hiring me is really my mentor, and she was the first teacher I had in supply chain. So it's just very interesting to see how, when you just show up for things and everybody here is trying to better themselves and learn, there's just opportunity. You never know who might be in the position to pass your LinkedIn or your resume along to provide you with that job. And it certainly helped, I think, for Ray and myself, just to like cast our nets wide. And when I think about all the people that I've met in the last 8 months, by just saying yes, and putting myself in very uncomfortable positions, it just helps me. And then it just lessens the weirdness, I guess. But yes, so how I got my internship was a woman that taught my first supply chain course, who also taught me about ASML. Her name's Mandy Morrell, and she ended up getting a job at General Atomics, and she actually put on her LinkedIn that they were looking for internships or interns, and I applied and I let her know and interviewed with her, and she accepted. She hired me. So that's just how it goes. Thank you. Yeah.
Anybody else have any other questions? Going once, twice.
I have another one.
I can't see. Who was it? Do you have one?
I was just asked like what kind of businesses can be made out of supply chain? Like, can you create an entrepreneurially create a business for supply chain, or is it working with the business? Are you creating your own business, or are you working with the business?
You guys hear that?
I heard that, yeah. So what I see a lot of faculty do on campus is that, they work themselves up, get experience with a manufacturer or someone like Viasat or General Atomics. And by then they branch out. They start to branch out, be consultants. So there's a consulting license you could do once once you want to start your own consulting business. So what you do is just work with smaller companies, startups, figuring out where they're spending too much money, or whether this process costs too much, whether this process is, not making any sense to do. So as a business, there's a lot of things you could do. You could offer your services and brand yourself, basically. So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you had one, right? So
All right. I just wanted to just commend what Joanne said. And it's something that several of our past alumni have mentioned before. And that is it's just the value of showing up. Like that is so huge. I think I've heard it like maybe 3 or 4 times from past career spotlight, like alumni from the BSBA Temecula program. They all say the same. It's like when people ask, how did you get your dream job? It's like showing up, being there, and just putting yourself out there, even if it's just for free. It makes such a difference. And it also shows that you got a lot of commitment, because you have to juggle time and if it's free, but you are passionate about it, it shows. I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind when you're looking for a job. And even now, especially now, showing up. And that also means showing up to boss too. And also the other societies on main campus, showing up, get involved. That speaks volumes about you. If you don't show up, you don't know anything about you. And networking and the people that you're going to be, if you don't network, good luck. It's sometimes at the end of the day, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And so I value what Joanne said about showing up. Thank you for saying that.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had another question in the classroom. If you speak up, we can hear you. Did you hear that?
No.
Okay, so it was a question directly for you, Joanne. She asked if you worked for General Atomics because she came in late and she only heard a brief bit.
Oh, so I am set to start my internship in June. It will be a 10-week internship, which I think the retention rate is pretty high. Ideally, if it works out, it would be a part-time position for my senior year. But no, so as of now, I just have filled everything out and I'm waiting to start in June.
She also wanted to know if you have prior military experience.
I do not, which I was raised military, but I have to say that is so helpful. I felt like it was something that possibly would work against me. But I am the aeronautics side that obviously works with the government. But yes, I feel like that would be a pro or to your benefit if you had military experience.
All right. Does anybody have any more questions for our panel before I end things? Going once, going twice, sold. I'm going to stop the recording.